With its box office success and post-credit teases, a sequel for Sonic the Hedgehog seems inevitable at this point. Here's how I'd do it. Sonic the Hedgehog the movie ends with a few important things established that will lead into the second movie. Number 1. Everyone in the town of Green Hills knows about Sonic. Number 2. Sonic has essentially been adopted by his new human parents, Donut Lord and Pretzel Lady, and lives in their attic. Number 3. Robotnik is trapped in an uninhabited mushroom dimension. And number 4. Tails has come to Earth looking for Sonic, and needs him for something urgent as he says he hopes he's not too late. Here's how I see the second movie opening. Logos, cold open, Sonic's face. He's standing on the pitcher's mound in a baseball stadium, as we see him in the first movie. He exchanges signals with himself in the role of the catcher, running back and forth. He looks to his left, he zooms over and takes the role of the first baseman. Back to the pitcher's mound, he looks to his right, he zooms over and is stood as third baseman. Back to the pitcher's mound, and Sonic pitches. And as we follow the ball, we see it get hit. But not by Sonic, by a human kid. Sonic is playing baseball with kids, just like he wanted to in the first movie. And to make it fair, a team of several kids is playing against a team of just Sonic. A group of kids that Sonic has a rapport with. They're his friends. I really think the new status quo that's been established at the end of the first movie would make for an extremely fun first act based around one idea. Sonic now has the life of a normal kid. The first movie portrayed him as a kid, and now he's a kid with parents and a community. And I want to see him getting to enjoy that. He could go to school alongside other kids. Maybe he plays a game of staying in his room at home, lying in bed and mock snoring, opening one eye to glance at the time until just before class is about to start, and then races over to the school and arrives right before the bell rings. Wouldn't Sonic Back to the Futuring to school be a fun scene to watch? And I want to see more of his relationship with his new parents. I want to see Sonic riding in the front of a shopping cart as they're grocery shopping. I want Sonic to be too excited to go to sleep at night and for his parents to have to tuck him in. I want to see them spending time together as a family. Basically, I want the first 20 minutes of this movie to be as wholesome and pleasant as the first act of Fellowship of the Ring. And then Tails shows up. Sonic's perfect new life grinds to a halt as someone from what used to be his home dimension arrives looking for him. But what is it that's so urgent? Why did Tails hope he wasn't too late? Tails tells Sonic that Robotnik somehow made it to what I'm gonna call the Mobius dimension, not because it really seems like Mobius, but hey, I gotta call it something. And Sonic has to come quickly and help them because Robotnik has kidnapped Longclaw. Right when Sonic has finally found new parents, a new family, the only other family he's ever had needs his help, and he has to leave Tom and Maddie behind. So how did Robotnik escape the Mushroom Dimension? I don't care. That doesn't really matter much. What does matter is why he kidnapped Longclaw. Robotnik has a grudge against Sonic, but more important than that, he knows what he can do if he harnesses Sonic's power. In the first movie, he was able to superpower his robots and vehicles with just one of Sonic's quills, and he wants more. And so he's tracked down the only person we know who is close to Sonic, either to get to him or to find out if there's more like him. So Sonic goes along with Tails, and as he gets to know Tails, he's conflicted. Tails is super excited to meet the Sonic the Hedgehog, and he's geeking out over him. But as Sonic finds out, the reason Tails knows who Sonic is that Tails is being raised by Longclaw. Tails replaced Sonic, and Sonic doesn't know how to handle that, being abandoned in another dimension and left behind only to be replaced with this naive kid. Over the course of the movie, Sonic will have to overcome his resentment for Tails. And as Sonic and Tails are rescuing Longclaw from Robotnik, they learn the full nature of his plan. Because Robotnik has discovered that there are more hedgehogs like Sonic. These movies have been thematically focused on Sonic's parents, be it Tom and Maddie or Longclaw, but they haven't stopped to address that Sonic has biological parents out there somewhere. Before Longclaw, there was another family that left him behind. A family that Robotnik has now tracked down and wants to use as an energy source for his inventions. And as Sonic teams up with his new family, his brother Manic, voiced by Ben Schwartz, and his sister Sonia, voiced by Ben Schwartz, they must track down their mother, Queen Alina, who has gone into hiding. They make a vow their mother... Where are you all going? I haven't finished yet. I didn't even get to the part where they form a band. Okay, so maybe not that. A far less interesting and far more cowardly second act ensues. It's got Knuckles and the Echidnas and Longclaw and none of the characters we all know and love from Sonic Underground. And then for the third act we come back to Earth. They faced off with Robotnik in the Mobius dimension, but they didn't stop him from getting his power source. And now he's come back to enslave the world, starting with Green Hills as a big ol' F you to Sonic. So now Sonic is fighting to save the life that was on display in the first act. His family, his friends, his community, his home. His real home. And he doesn't fight alone. Yes, Tails helps him, Sonic having overcome his resentment for him by now, but so do the baseball kids from the first scene. How do they help him? With their baseball skills, duh, don't ask stupid questions. One route you could go with this is to have Robotnik reveal the true nature of where Sonic came from at this point in the movie. Maybe Robotnik did find out where Sonic came from, and maybe he remembered an experiment that he conducted as a young boy, an experiment involving a hedgehog he'd found that mysteriously disappeared. And, knowing the first movie, the low-hanging fruit will inevitably be picked.
I am your father.
If the first act was about Sonic having a new family, and the second was about the possibility that he has another out there somewhere, this reveal will mean that Sonic's original parents are just non-anthropomorphic hedgehogs.
You come from nothing. You're nothing.
Slightly tire-hanging fruit. But along with that disappointment will come the reassurance that Sonic's original home is Earth, that he really does belong here. Robotnik flees, defeated, and now knowing that Earth is protected, as is Mobius by Knuckles and Longclaw. And so Robotnik knows he'll need a proper weapon before launching his next attack. A weapon that he'll make using the Sonic Quill he's been powering his technology with, and the knowledge of how he inadvertently created Sonic himself all those years ago. A weapon fit for a post-credit scene, an extremely edgy, ultimate lifeform weapon. With a gun. Now Sonic has to choose between going back to Mobius with Longclaw or staying with his family in Green Hills. Of course he chooses Green Hills, but the surprise comes when Tails decides he wants to stay too. So the status quo has once again shifted, and the community finds a place for one more new citizen. Meanwhile, Queen Alina longs for her children, but she has to wait. To act too soon could seal her fate. They made a vow. An extremely edgy, ultimate lifeform weapon. With a gun. I can't say it. An extremely edgy, ultimate lifeform weapon. With a gun.